Hey everyone. Wow, that was a great episode. We're on the Casey train, and if you misspell that website with our next guest, you're going to end up at some Korean porn site. But the good news is, if you spell it right, you'll end up at his website. Casey Barnett, he was just on the podcast from Dallas. He's got a new supplement line out. He's got his own apparel line out. He's a coach and a competitor. He had some interesting information. Gave us an insight into the fitness industry. So it was a good episode. Tim, got anything you want to add to that?
No, not at all. The guy eats 7 meals a day, which blew my mind.
Shit.
So you guys just want to stick around and listen to the whole episode, and we appreciate you tuning in. All right. Yeah, well, it's a more intimate setting, yeah.
And there I was. Welcome to the Pro Edge Podcast, folks. I'm here with Casey Barnett from Dallas, Texas, getting ready to compete here. He's a good-looking dude. He's buff. He's got a bunch of followers.
He's young, ladies.
He's young. Speaking of which, just to lighten it up a little bit, there's no secret that I'm single. And anyway, I've been helping some guys with their dating.
Oh, yeah, tell us about your Bumble.
Yeah, so if anyone would like some advice on some dating, I'd love to help out. And I'm sure Casey would love to give some pointers to these guys, too. I don't know much. I've failed miserably with the ladies. But I do have a knack for writing. So one of my clients reached out, said he couldn't get no play on Bumble or Tinder. And I read his profile, and it's the basic horse shit we all make up about. We love the mountains and we love hiking because we're in Idaho, right? When's the last time you went camping? Fuck, mine was in the Army, but yeah, sure, we all love the mountains.
2 years ago.
It was basic. It was a basic, boring profile. So if any Casey's followers need any help in this, also, or I'm sure that you know some cougars down there in Dallas who would like a Billy Idol lookalike. If you got lots of money, I'm cheap.
Yeah.
Buy me a Ford Pinto and.
If you don't even have any money, it's cheap.
So, let's see what we got here. Of course, my iPhone locks out. So to help this young man out, I wrote him a little blurb, and I can do this for you folks too, and I can customize it for anything. So feel free to use this too, anyone listening. About me. I stay active and lead a busy life. I'm super talented. I can lift things up for you and throw rocks further than anyone else. Plus, I'm an author of facts. For example, number 3 certified dick diver fact. If he drinks the blood wine sacrament at church on Sunday, he surely will swallow your load, cowboy. No hookups, please. Peace out. And that seemed to get my guy a lot of play. So have fun with it. If you want a fun profile, I'll do one for $200 cash or $200 PayPal.
That's a steal.
That's a steal. Folks, I can write you a profile. Just, chicks too. I mean, I can pretend I'm a girl, whatever. I'll write a profile that says you smash dicks and whatever. But $200, that's cheap to get some play on Bumble and Tinder. Okay, that's enough of me promoting my fake business that I don't own. Casey Barnett. So I rarely sit down and don't know shit about the guests. I knew that Tim had booked you. Been super busy. He told me a little bit about you, but I just want you to kind of come in here and just tell me about yourself. What is it you do? What are your aspirations? Where you come from? We know you come from Dallas, but like your family, your upbringing, and just let us know who you are.
Yeah. So my name is Casey Barnett. I'm from Dallas. Came all the way up here to Boise, Idaho. I am an online health coach, competitor, and business owner. I currently have my online coaching business as well as apparel, and launching a supplement company this month. So that's my primary focuses throughout the day, but that's literally what engulfs my entire life. I got in the fitness industry about 6 years ago, I started with Complete Nutrition, just basic retailer, $9 an hour, and worked my way up. About 6 months later, took that store general manager, saw an increase in sales, and ended up getting a district manager position. So went that route for a couple months, and then actually moved into regional distribution for brokering for a company, actually getting the supplements to the retailer as compared to selling them in the retail stance. So kind of learn the retail side, learn distribution, learn raw materials, marketing, whole 9 yards. Like growing a store, I guess, essentially, and then the supplement industry itself. Along with that comes nutrition and experience. So it's kind of what got me where I'm at today.
So you cut your teeth in this industry. You've been doing it a long time.
Yes, sir. Yeah.
Cool. So now I've been through Texas. I know a little bit about Dallas, not a whole lot, but it's and like Austin, they're kind of little miniature Hollywoods nowadays, right? Real competitive as far as the bodybuilding scene and stuff like that.
Oh yeah, it's very competitive. Dallas, I can speak for Dallas. I did the Europa. I nationally qualified this summer, actually there, thankfully. But yeah, it's very competitive industry. First off, but when you're competing, especially at that level, national level at NPC, it's everyone gives it 110%, especially nowadays with all the knowledge out there and guidance and everything that does come along with what the industry's come to at this point. You can pretty much do whatever you want. Just keep your head down. Okay,
so if I'm thinking about, changing my lifestyle, getting in shape, doing better things, I hop on Instagram. There's Casey Barnett and 5 trillion other online lifestyle coaches, physical coaches. I think I'm friends with. They're just everywhere. So how do you get your clients? How do you differentiate yourself? What kind of service do you really provide people? As far as that goes, because like I said, the pick of the litter.
Yeah,
just
exactly.
They're everywhere.
They are. So that's the biggest thing is obviously differentiating yourself. And for me, it's just the investment I have in everybody. If like for me, I make sure that they always see my full attention. I do weekly check-ins, so literally every single week you're sending me pictures, getting everything sent back to you for the week's adjustments. And then the competitors are where I really put a lot of focus. All the ones I put on stage so far have taken first place. I really pride myself in providing the best, to be there for them, with them all the way up into the show. This last guy competed in Houston. I went there, got myself a hotel, stayed up with him till 11, 2 a.m. and 4 a.m., made sure he was fed, everything ready for the show the next day. So again, my personal investments there, as well as obviously industry experience. So do you write their training program, their meal program from top to bottom? 110%.
Okay.
100% custom to them. Whenever you do decide, I have open slots and I do accept new clients, you'll initially get a questionnaire and you kind of see what you're about, history level, what you want to do, goals and that kind of thing, and I build it all starting from there.
And it's mainly focused around a bodybuilding type competition?
I do a lot of lifestyle, actually. Majority of my clients are lifestyle clients.
Okay.
Anything from a 45-year-old teacher to just an 18-year-old kid trying to put some muscle mass on for college. But I do have a competition team that I do focus on, just obviously the ones that are at that level with myself. But the rest are just going to be basic lifestyle, just getting better, staying healthy, and doing what you can to live a healthy lifestyle.
So let's throw the people that compete aside and let's talk about your clients that are just lifestyle clients. What's the biggest lack you're seeing with people in nutrition? And is it just the misconception of what nutrition is and sugars, maybe? Or what do you see as...
I don't know about sugars. I think people are pretty aware of sugar. Obviously, they correlate sugars being bad. Again, I think everything had its place, insulin control being one thing. But secondly, I don't think that anyone also understands macronutrients to a full, which is just basic protein, fats, carbs, the things that make up calories. So I think, with the lifestyle coaching, it makes it easy for people to make it a lifestyle because all I do is provide them with basic numbers to hit, and they just hit them. And that's all they got to do. So they don't have to feel like they're, it's crazy. Like, oh, can I have like fish with this vegetable or whatever the question may be? Is this good for my diet, or can I have rice? Something basic. It's already going to be, within your macronutrients for a lifestyle. That's all you need to do is stick with those 3 basic numbers. And I think that big misconception is kind of what throws people off whenever they're like trying to get on track. They just don't know where to start. They just know calories, and sometimes they think carbs equal bad, and that's definitely not always the case.
Yeah, I think there's a huge misconception too on what we actually put in our bodies in this country and how much we spend on groceries and what we actually need. And to eat clean, I've heard that, it's unaffordable. And I think if you really break it down and look at the numbers and look at, like, how much food you actually waste that's processed. And when you go to the store, I think that we definitely all could eat cleaner, but it's a problem in this country. And I don't necessarily equate it to money. I understand going to a Whole Foods market's more money, but I think a lot of times, when we overbuy, I think Americans overconsume at regular grocery stores anyway. Mm-hmm. And that's what part of the obese problem. I think it correlates with each other, and I think that if you don't look at it as a fact like that, we're just not being honest. I think that's a problem. So yes, Whole Foods are more money, but how much money are you spending at the Walmart grocery store on crap you get thrown out? We've all got it in our pantry. As Americans, for sure, we're way spoiled. So
correct.
Just my thoughts on that. So what kind of advice would you give to someone? Trying to eat clean that's on a budget, because sometimes people just need a little nudge, like, hey, check it out. If you buy this much rice on Amazon, they'll ship it to you for $11.99. I've seen some guys get creative in budgeting and eating very healthy. Because they've had to.
Yeah, I mean, when you're forced to it, you can do what you got to do, and I think that's also a great learning experience. But anyways,
so I'm asking, like, diet. What would you?
Just budget. So I mean, I guess to answer that question, it's hard for me since I travel all the time. I just buy kind of easy foods, Uncle Ben terry rice and stuff, and I'll have my chicken just made. I'll get breast and that kind of thing, but I don't necessarily always buy in bulk because my diet's consistently changing. So I'll get enough for 2 or 3 days and then adjust. As compared to someone that's on a plan, they can go to Sam's, buy in bulk, get like the big Rice Minute Maid rice cooker, set themselves up for a week. Whereas myself, my rice portions will change, but not only that, but the actual kind of rice. And then if I'm on the go, it's just a lot easier for me to go by the store and grab something. So.
Yeah, it seems like...
especially if I'm not in Dallas.
Yeah. Seems like carbs are a big thing in this country. What are some of the... Go ahead.
Sorry, we were talking about earlier the whole... How many meals do you eat again?
7 a day.
Oh, my God. How many meals do you eat, Conrad?
Maybe 2, tops.
I eat maybe 1. Tops. And the only reason that's the case is because I do the intermittent fasting, and you do intermittent fasting.
Yeah, I really only eat 1 meal a day, but I kind of cheat during the day. Like, I'll have
like a protein shake or something.
Yeah.
If you're doing 2 days or something like that.
And a granola bar or something. Sure.
Every now and then I'll have like a protein bar afterwards. And we were kind of talking about this earlier, and I kind of made a mental note to talk to you about it, just because for the most part, a lot of people I talk to who do like the multiple meals a day, like every 3 hours, every 4 hours, like 6 to 8 meals a day, some people, a lot of them have problems and they're always not happy, or they're like, oh man, it's such a struggle. But everybody I talk to who does intermittent fasting or whatnot, I'm always saying, hey, try intermittent fasting. I don't ever have a problem hitting goals. If I really want to, like, I do not have an issue with hitting goals. I think it's maybe because of the way that my body, the stressors that I endured when I had first introduced that style of dieting. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. So at the time I was going through a divorce, and I know some people stress eat. I stress starve, right? And I don't eat when I'm stressed. And so for like 3-4 days, in the very beginning, I remember not eating, and I just felt completely depleted. And I started just searching online. I was like, is there anything that I can do? Is there a diet that would fit my style of stressing? Like, literally, that's what I Googled. I was like, stress dieting. And this was like 4 years ago, 3.5 years ago. About 3 years ago, actually. No, 3.5 years ago, yeah. So, stress dieting. And I just stumbled upon some type of forum that was talking about essentially people who were like anorexic, and they were trying to it was like an intermediate fasting site, but like it was more of a recovery for anorexic. And I was like, intermediate fasting? What's that? And so that kind of led me down the rabbit hole. and I started researching fasting in general, just to find out, a little bit more about it. And lo and behold, it just so happened to fit my style of living, being stressed out and working all the time. And so I started to do more research, watched some documentaries, and then I ended up reading a couple books on it. And I felt like, hey, well, I mean, it's been working, up to the point of while I was doing research, which was, probably a solid year and a half, 2 years after I'd started like stress eating or stress starving, I guess you could, you could call it. So, but you were saying earlier about how when you get off of your 7 meals that you might consider doing it. Do you know much about it at all?
Not too much, except for like the basic of waiting and building all day long, fasting, then boom, you get that one huge meal.
Yeah,
that's it.
That influx. Because I am probably just like you with my knowledge as far as having multiple meals a day. Mm-hmm. I never really understood that, and mostly because I was fed like 3 meals a day. And I kind of get the whole increase your metabolism, but I mean, as far as your results, are you satisfied with them? Like, I'm just kind of curious because most people, they're satisfied. At the end of the day, it was a struggle to get there, right? Yeah. Because you seem to struggle a little bit. You always have to eat, dude. Every time I've talked to you, you've had to eat. And that's every time. I've talked to you 5 times since like last night, and 4 of those 5 times you were eating.
Have to. Yeah. Have to, man. Yeah.
So, I think what we should do as a Pro Edge podcast, I'll send you some material only because I think it's something that is a little it may be more difficult up front, but once you have a firm understanding of what your body is telling you as far as when your stomach is saying you're hungry, if you eat 30 minutes ago, like a small meal, and your stomach says you're hungry, it's the exact same feeling that you have as if you hadn't eaten in 3 days. And once you understand that your body has been conditioned to being fed so much, you'll recognize that your body doesn't need the food all the time. That's how I perceived it. Again, I'm not a nutritionist. I don't know anything about this stuff. All I know is like the results that I've had, and whatnot. But
sounds like it'd be right about my alley for a lifestyle, at least.
Dude,
at this point, that's why
I'll send you some material and just let me know. Give me some feedback. I think it would be cool for you to change up for the people who follow you, just to see you completely swap from 7 meals a day to 1 meal a day, and to see what your results are, to see if it really worked. You may have to like swap out your macros. You may have to change things up. Yeah,
those are changing regardless. After the show,
it would be cool. It would be cool to see how shredded or how jacked you get, or whatever the results are. Because most people that I know who do intermittent fasting are athletic. They're more athletes who do like jits and like they're people who don't. They're not in that. If you think about
the history of as hunter and gatherers, like they said, or as cavemen back in the day, you would have ate once a day. You would have gone out, hunted for your tribe or for yourself and family.
Yeah, if you were able to get it.
I think as we morphed into an industrialized society, what happened was when we started yielding crops and stuff, those people were working. That's hard labor. Like the way that we built our society now is through hard work. And to have a full sustained day of hard work, I think that's why they started eating multiple times a day, not only to have the resources when they started farming, but they were putting in that style labor. And eventually it led into society what we have today, which is the basic 3 meals a day. It's ingrained in the military, in our school system. So I just think it kind of morphed into that hard society needed 3 meals a day because we were a hard society building to a soft society, and now we're a soft society. So we got people that are sitting behind a desk. They're not out hauling a plow or chopping wood, and they're eating 3 meals a day, and they're not having any real physical exercise. And I don't think our bodies are meant for that. I think 3 meals a day is great if you're a lumberjack or if you're a coal miner or an auto mechanic, or you might need that to sustain the type of work you want to put in for the day. But I think as our country and the world's gotten softer, the 3 meals is kind of overkill.
But as a bodybuilder,
yeah.
As a bodybuilder, you guys work out. How many hours a day do you work out?
It depends on what point you're at. Like for right now, my prep, I only have like 25 grams carbs pre-training, which is enough to give me energy and glycogen for that training session. So 30, 35 minutes in my cardio. But off season, when I have 5,000+ calories, I can train for 2 hours and not have an issue at all before I even get close to getting taxed.
Dude, 5,000. I trained for like. I don't even do.
I started dieting at 5,100. That's when I started dieting 11 weeks ago at 5,100, and now I'm down to 23.
Whoa. I'm at like 2,000 calories. Intermediate fasting, I'm down to like 2,000 calories. I train like an hour to an hour and a half of weight training. I do about 30 minutes of cardio, and that's either skipping rope or running or both. Sometimes I come home and run 2-3 miles with my dog when it's not smoky outside.
Yeah.
Terrible. You came at a bad time. I apologize.
Well, more power to you. I can't even count chubby girls at the mall eating ice cream, let alone calories.
Yeah.
I've never have. I've just kind of guessed
Well,
it.
I just kind of gauge it. I just gauge it. Yeah.
Well,
I know I used to track it loyally for about 3 years, and I eat the same shit
I've never
every
once
single day.
written it down. Not once.
See, I used my Fitness Pal for like the last 4 years when I was tracking macros, so
It does
I
help.
can eyeball pretty much anything I see.
Well, and it keeps you, A, it keeps you engaged, and B, it keeps you accountable for hitting your numbers. Every time that I start counting my numbers on a day, if I put 1, maybe 2 inputs, I'm like, fuck, I gotta watch what I eat the rest of the day. Even if I have a protein bar, I'm like, shit, that protein bar still at 18. It was like, it wasn't all protein, you know? It was a solid balance of like a 30, 30, 30, or whatever it might be. You know what I'm saying? Depending
Woke
on the bar.
up with no pants on next to a box of Voodoo Donuts and
And then you go sweat them out.
a jelly, and you're like, what happened?
Exactly.
I don't know what happened. I blacked out.
Yeah. What's your goal? Do you want to get bigger? Are you trying to get leaner? What's up? What's your overall view of what you want to accomplish as far as like your physical outlook? Because I think there's a certain point, right, before you stroke out or you decide that you can't wipe your ass anymore.
Correct.
Yeah.
And so to answer that, so right now, like I mentioned, I'm in depletion for my show, so I'll obviously look a lot different come the show day, like nice and full, and actually look like I lift a little bit as compared to just being vascular.
You're super vascular.
So it'll be cool. And from there, I'll probably go into like a slow surplus for this next year. Put on a few pounds, maybe 5 or 10, and just sit at that. I don't need to be any heavier than 225. I don't plan on doing it. I started at 140 pounds, 6 years ago, soaking wet. So my goal is just to get to 200 lean, and now I'm 5.5% at 204. So I already got to my actual realistic goal I wanted to be at, and so now it's just kind of getting better by the year.
Now, when you do cardio, does that affect your frame at all? Because I'm like 170 now, but I've been as big as 180. And I used to run like a lot of half marathons and stuff. And when I run at that heavier weight, it really affects my body. So have you had to morph your cardio? Can you run still? Because 140 to 225 is a big difference.
I can move this 204 pretty quick.
Okay.
I can sprint. But most of the time I just do low intensity, steady state cardio, keeps my heart rate up, and do 35 minutes a day.
Okay.
So I'm still obviously in cardiovascular activity as with the training. So
Right. Cool. Just curious about
keeps
that.
me in motion.
Yeah.
Fuck. What was I gonna ask you?
So how do people find you?
You can go to Instagram, Casey Barnett, CASEY Barnett, BARNETTE, or you can check out my website, CaseyTrain.com.
Folks, I'm going to warn you. He's going to slow down. Let's spell this out, because if you type in Casey Train and fuck up one letter on it, you might end up in some weird Asian Thai boys porn site. We only know from experience.
So make sure when you type in it, CASEY Train.
Ladies, it's the Casey Train. It's where him and 10 of his best friends
We'll go to that. We'll go real
line
quick.
up to give everyone flowers.
Oh, yeah.
And you can kind of navigate us through your website.
Kiss you softly on your face.
And we are live. Now we are. CaseyTrain.com.
So obviously they're not going to... now, can you do lifestyle coaching purely online?
It's actually 100% of my business is online.
Okay.
I don't do any in-person except for one, and he's just a rapper. So that's the only one.
Okay, who's the rapper? Can you say?
Yeah, his name is Sam Harvey.
Sam Harvey.
Check him out.
Let's look him up.
He's going on tour. I can't say with who in January, but I'm getting him ready for a tour this year.
That's cool.
Probably not a rapper from Idaho. I'm going to tell you that much right now.
Well, so I've had multiple proposals. We were going over this earlier. I've had some bands come in here. They record, whatnot. And some of their managers have contacted me to because we have our nutrition line, and they've said, hey, you know, our guys are always looking for a place to work out on tour. Like, the worst time for health is being on tour, because all you do is eat shitty and you sit around all the time and like
party with chicks
and party. Yeah. And so I've had two locals, and I've had a guy out of town who was chit-chatting with me because of the local guys about the product and saying, hey, this is like a super niche market. Like, we've got drummers and people who are always wanting to work out, but they don't have a good product. They don't want to crash because they're touring. You know, they want to have a spike, blah, blah, blah. But they also might want to take something during, like, the concert. Blah. So, fuck, I don't know where I was going with that. Damn it.
Hey, I just had a random thought. Did you see that Bret Michaels was at the Western Idaho State Fairs? I didn't. Jesus Christ, Bret Michaels.
Did he have his bandana?
Oh, and the cowboy hat. I didn't see it in person. I just saw a photo, and there was these like two tired ass fucking leather bagged, you know, cougars that look like they got fucking beat up by some bears.
Yeah.
They were just fucking hammered dog shit all over him, and I'm like, how is he still alive?
Yeah.
Like, what do they got him hopped up on?
They need to put him back on VH1 if it was still back.
He's 135 years old. For fuck's sakes. He still looks like a tan 3-foot troll doll with a cowboy hat.
If you got money, you can
more power
you
to
can
him.
Fix your face pretty good. Let's get back to your website real quick, though, because we just got to the front page, and everybody's watching this, but we haven't gotten to it yet.
Face there.
Yeah, they're staring at your face.
Sorry if you're a middle-aged cougar that has a thing for Bret Michaels
right
and you've been in a fisticuff with a grizzly bear.
So
no offense.
The site is set up to where you can go check my coaching options out, just lifestyle contests, that kind of thing, as well as see the testimonials of everybody.
Pricing's different for each one.
Yeah, I have 30, 60, and 90-day transformations, as well as the 12-week contest prep. Whoa. And then then also use the Casey Training Apparel as a link on there as well. So you can check it out. This is gold. I'm rocking right here.
Yeah, it's a cool shirt. I got to get one of those.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, I like the scoop tees. How to go with the scoop on this one.
Yeah, that's nice. Is that what you were wearing at the gym earlier too? Something similar.
I was wearing a different. Yeah, I was wearing the other Case Train one.
You were, yeah. That's what I had the bigger.
It did.
Yeah, that's what I thought. It was a sweet shirt. Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah, I like
I
like the gold and black.
All right, so we went to. So where do we go? Just men's apparel or whatever.
Yup. You can check. It'll be a hoodie on there and a few shirts. I got popular like the classic tee and that kind of thing.
Hell yeah, I dig the hoodie.
Hell yeah, that's my favorite. I brought that up here for the plane tomorrow.
Who designed your logo? Did you design that?
My first web designer.
Nice. And do you know that person? Is like one of your buddies?
Kind of. That's all I can say. Business partner at the time.
Eskimo buddies.
That's usually how it works.
Yeah, I mean, you know how it works, man. You start business, you go through them.
So you got tanks, you got tees, you got a baseball tee, which is sick.
Yeah, 3/4.
Hoodie.
Oh, 9. Then also for women, I have sports bras, leggings, a few other.
Let's go to the ladies.
A few other dope options on there if you're a woman.
I want to see Casey's models.
Oh, dude.
You got ladies on here?
Not
do you
on the
sponsor
site yet.
people yet?
I do.
So what do you do with your sponsorships? Because we were actually talking about this on the phone earlier on, like, how do we handle sponsorships? Like, do we really?
We're gonna reevaluate that.
Yeah, it's like there's a reevaluation process. Because if we're peacocking to try to like make our next move as a business, we're gonna have to realize, like, what's really worth an investment, what's not? Like, are we getting our
return on this?
Correct. So I kind of experimented with the apparel actually for the last 9 months. I have just like 7 athletes, and it's, most of them drive traffic but they all drive track throughout the month. But basically, what I would do is give incentives for X amount sold. Obviously, give them percentage as well as a small monthly to see what was more effective, as well as obviously the free apparel. And so went that route, and basically just went off the engagement that person had, regardless of whatever I was providing them. They were committed to, I don't know, I guess pushing it out there. So either way,
it's a cool logo.
No, thanks, man. But either way, I use that, and then for
go to men's apparel. How much is that black shirt with the gold logo?
This one actually is a limited run only at retailers right now.
Oh, could you snag me one?
I can snag you one.
I'll pay for it.
I got you.
That'd be sick.
It's just be a sexual favor.
But anyway, so for like the athlete program, I basically use the Case Train Apparel to track what was effective for like the last 9 months. I'm going to use that moving forward. Obviously, a different budget for the Iron Muscle Nutrition.
Nice. That's what's up. And then you also do, what else do you do? You're an entrepreneur of you've got many hats, man. So you do your nutrition line.
Supplement line, coaching.
And you're just about to launch your nutrition line.
Correct.
And explain that to your fan base.
Oh, okay. So supplement people. We're starting with a pre-workout.
Is there a website? Is there
All there is. It's ironmusclenutrition.co.
So, after you ladies have ridden long and hard on the Casey train, go on over to Iron Muscle, get some pre-workout so you can energize yourself back up from
get
that.
some BCAAs.
And dudes, hit that ironmusclenutrition.co before you get on that Casey train with them ladies.
Correct.
That way you enjoy the whole ride.
Exactly. The BCAAs keep you hydrated.
And those ladies will appreciate that whole ride.
So we're doing 3 basic SKUs at first, launching this month. We're going to do pre-workout, BCAA, and a fat burner.
Now, being in Texas, is it tempting to get fat burner from the Mexican pharmacy south of the border? How good do you want your shit to work?
I don't think compared to the Mexico shit, but it's gonna be pretty close for United
I've been
States.
on the Casey train for 2 weeks. I've lost 55 pounds, my marriage, and my truck.
Hell yeah. Sweet, man. So we've got cherry orange BCAAs. That's a unique flavor.
Oh, yeah.
Icy
awesome.
mango, top-notch pre-workout.
I knew a girl named Icy Mango once. True story.
She danced.
Sounds cold.
Very true story.
Sounds so cold. That's funny. All right, and then
the mango BCAAs as well.
Okay.
And there's also one flavor that was going to be added Monday. It's going to be Killer Candy in the pre-workout.
And what is that flavor supposed to imitate? What is it supposed to taste like?
It's pretty close to Trix, or some people say Skittles.
Yeah, I've seen some subs market their shit, and they kind of steal a logo from Twix or Skittles, and then they just change something and throw it on the bottle.
Yeah.
Man supplements.
A little too Chinese chicken for me.
Is it Man Sports? They've got some really bomb BCAAs. They've got like Swedish Fish ones.
Oh yeah,
they've got they're pretty tasty.
So how long have
the biggest ones I like honestly until now is the Extend. And it's basically just because they had 0 calories from a competitor standpoint, but they had 7 grams, and most BCAAs are not going to get more than 5 grams. So basically just took what I liked and kind of redid it and added a bunch of spiff to it. So that way you get full dosing.
What's Dallas, the scene like down there? Like, you live there full time?
Correct.
You're an entrepreneur? You're in your 20s?
Correct.
Life great. You got to go to Austin much?
I don't too much. I went 2 months ago. I had a Casey Train event. We're at this gym, just a meetup. Had some people come. My videographer came and had like a cool training session.
How often do you do something like that?
About once every 3 months. The next one is September 25th.
Nice. We should go down for one of those.
You should, man. Mark Lobliner is supposed to be coming to this next one, so that would be someone.
Yeah, that's the great part about podcasting is like, now you've got dudes in Boise.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, we've got a connection in Dallas.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I come train Destination, man.
Yeah.
Destination Dallas is it's my home right now.
Right on. Good gym.
That's good. It's all the environment's my favorite part about it. It's people, man. It's culture. You know, when it comes down to it, it's just like who you're around, that kind of thing.
Yeah,
keep your head
sure.
down, obviously, but it's nice to have everyone that's in this, same goal. And so.
Yeah, we've got there's 2 gyms here in the valley I'd give props to for being like a real bodybuilding gym, and that would be Mecca in Meridian and Iron Built in Garden City or Boise, or where the fuck that is. It's right on Chinden down here, but that's where Meridian and Boise all kind of goat rope each other into butt fucksville. Anyway, they've got legit style pro athletes there training and coaches and stuff like that. Like if you're looking to really, and then we've got, I don't know, Boise's usually in top 10 for the fittest cities. I think it's like about like Austin. I see Boise and Austin in a lot of the same top 10 lists, and that's why I was curious, and that's why I want to go down there.
Austin is cool though. Like 6th Street down there. I don't obviously go party or anything, but I've been a couple of times out there just kind of check the scene out. And there's a place called the Domain. It's really nice, like up the area.
Good comedy scene down there. You got the college, right?
Yeah, UT. Everything's freaking burnt orange when you get to Austin.
Yeah.
But other than that, people are real nice. I mean, that's the only. It says they keep Austin weird, and they're definitely weird.
Yeah. I think
I'll just say
I have some friends that live down there.
Yeah.
Portland's our weird spot up here.
Yeah.
So.
Portlandia, you ever watch that?
Mm-mm.
It's fucking hilarious. It's that one comedian. I don't even know what the fuck his name is. He's hilarious though. He's Yeah, you'll have to watch it. It's on Netflix.
I'll have to watch it. Yeah,
Portlandia.
Dude, what do you think about Boise, by the way?
I like it.
You do like it?
I do, just because of the people, man.
Yeah.
Well, you gotta go.
People, have you been to any of like the actual good spots though in Boise?
Man, I haven't left the gym, my hotel, or a food restaurant or food place.
Well, there's always.
You'll have to come back.
Yeah, well, I'm not in prep. It'll be a lot different.
Yeah.
But for now.
There's always ladies in the gym. Boise, Boise's a fun town. If that's why I was asking if you're going out later, because he'd be take him out, show him the town.
What'd you think about the talent at the gym today?
What do you mean?
The talent, and by talent I mean like the women that were there.
Man, the only talent I fuck with is Leslie.
Oh, true.
At Leslie Love.
And
there's her handle.
Dude, you're awesome. But by talent I mean not like
physical
being attracted to it, but the attractiveness of people who have goals and they're hitting the gym and they're like working out. Does that make sense? Like,
yeah, sort of.
By like the talent, that's stupid.
Well, I guess you can't really tell.
By talent, I mean like, what do you think about the people at the gym? Like, as far as like,
I figured you meant.
Well, no, people who are in shape. Like, to be honest with you, when I was at the gym, there was like not a lot of hot chicks, but there were a lot of people who were in very good shape today. Does that make sense?
I can agree.
That's what I was asking.
Okay,
yeah. By talent, I mean like not people you're attracted to, but who have attractive qualities. Like they're hitting goals and they're fucking crushing it and they look good.
Majority.
But doesn't mean like you want to bang them, right?
The majority of them probably.
It's real. Good. That's real though. Being attracted to something and having an attractive quality.
No, the way you explain it makes sense. Yeah, that's a good save. Because at first I was just like, Leslie ain't gonna buy this shit.
No. And I'm not even trying to save you. I'm just saying, like I think you as a man can have an appreciation for. You as a human being can have an appreciation for somebody who goes to the gym or somebody who lays very strict to a specific diet.
Holy fuck, though, fellas. Let's call it what. Have you seen some of these fucking yoga pants? They go in to the stuff, to the brown eye. Like, you can see the crack of their... Can you imagine? I want to go back to 1993. And grab a couple 30-year-old dudes and their Dockers with their little fucking woven belts and their little flopper shoes and their flannel shirts and be like, fellas, we're going to the gym in 2018, and I just want you to have a look around. They would fucking go into cardiac arrest. In 1993, can you imagine seeing women? And you see chicks like that at fucking the grocery store.
I was born in 95.
Yeah, so... Dude, back in 1995, some of those yoga pants, you think they would have got arrested. In some of these small towns in Idaho and Texas, I guarantee you, there's some chick wearing some of those yoga pants would have got
I remember they had to implement
hemmed up.
Like you got to make sure your shorts go down to your fingertips in middle school because girls were wearing them all the way up their ass.
Man, some of these girls, I mean, they are
that was 10
nothing.
Years after mine. He's even older than me, dude.
I'm old as balls.
Yeah, you are.
36. Goddamn, I remember when a hot dog was a nickel.
Did you ever play sports growing up? Did you play football, soccer?
I played baseball.
You played baseball? Yeah, you don't surprise me.
I was a baseball guy,
player.
Man.
Yeah, you kind of look like a baseball player.
I played.
You have like the build for a baseball player.
Yeah, I figured
with like an extra like 40, 50 pounds on you.
Now.
Yeah.
The lightness, though, did help for sure. I was in the 2008 Little League World Series, actually.
No shit.
Yes, I was.
For what team?
Mustangs.
Good for you
Yeah,
guys.
so
And how
placed
far
fourth.
did you placed fourth in the World Series?
But it's not the World Series as in like the one on TV. There's World Series for Texas.
Yeah, there's
Gotcha.
There's like a
regional.
lot of World Series you can go to.
Gotcha.
But I play AAA and Major. If that helps for select for you AAA.
No shit. And that's like pro ball essentially, right?
Essentially for kids, because I played until I was 15.
Oh, okay, I'm confused.
Yeah,
I guess
no,
it's like
it's,
it's like U-ball in Europe for soccer, where it's like
It's similar to the summer
So
league
there's like
baseball.
there's like
Yeah.
a rec league, and then there's USSSA, which is like a select league, aka just like competitive.
Yeah.
And there's AA, AAA, and Major. And so basically, it just goes from how competitive you are and how good you actually are until.
it's a development.
Correct.
Yeah, okay. That's what I thought. I was thinking maybe it's a development thing. Like a developmental league. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And so do you utilize any of those types of workouts in your training nowadays? Do you like implement them, I guess? Not utilize, but implement them?
Not really, to be honest with you, just because there were a lot of like agility and basically like rotator cuff, which I'll do rotator cuff stuff, still, but not for the sole purpose of throwing.
Just to mitigate injury, more or less. Yeah.
Because now it's all about just compounds, lots of hypertrophy.
Tell me about your workout schedule. What do you do, dude?
So currently, in prep, I'll do. I train every single day, so I'll do chest. That's a full-on chest day, back, arms, shoulders, legs, and then repeat. So that way, it just kind of keeps me in rotation. And I don't have enough calories to actually, obviously, build muscle at this point. It's all about preservation. So I'll go in there, make sure I get enough blood flow, nutrients into the muscle, and then head out.
And you said you take, 5,000 calories in a day?
I wish right now. It's 2,300 right now. Just 5,100 when I started.
Now,
when I started dieting.
How many professional air lat competitors are there in the Dallas gyms?
No shit.
Because we've got, I don't know if you noticed
What
any
is
of the ones up here, the air lats where they walk around like they're buff.
Shit.
ILS, dog.
Dude,
Invisible lat syndrome.
There's so many. There's so many of them, especially in Dallas. The ones that, there's a lot of them.
One of them had tits. I was actually, I had to look twice.
Yeah, but you're fucking jacked, and your back is V'd out.
Thanks,
So
man.
what's your back routine? I'm kind of curious. Because my back routine is pretty intense, but my back doesn't look like your back.
I think,
thank you, man.
I think you just go with a carrot right in the ass. You tan up. And you just air lat it up.
That's
And
actually
just
exactly
that
how
big
it gets
dick-
like this.
That big dick ego, son, with that carrot just bobbing back there in the brown eye.
Oh yeah.
There you go.
No, but in all seriousness, I think the development came from from rack pulls this year. 'Cause
Rack pulls.
Yeah, I always did like lat pulls and close grip rows and that kind of thing. And then I was like, man, I tried to deadlift, but I didn't want to go obviously that low and open up my waist. So I was like, well, I'm gonna do rack pulls, which is you basically start a little bit below your knee and just extend up. And
There's
I think that helped
one
a lot with the development.
Workout that I think is the measure of a man, and I think it's pull-ups.
It is pull-ups. The most pull-ups I did was senior year in college. I weighed 237 pounds. I did 26 full pull-ups.
Damn, at 237.
Full pull-ups.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
I did.
was happy with that. I don't know if that's a lot, but I think it's
quite
a
a bit.
lot
At
for
237?
being a big dude.
Half an
yeah,
hour, that's a lot. I mean,
I'm
realistically, I can
obviously
probably do probably 25 at this point.
Yeah,
Just,
you're
I mean,
pretty jacked too.
But that's it.
I just
How much
did,
you weigh again? Sorry,
204.
204.
I just did 30-something at the fair on the Marines pull-up bar, by the way, which is light. And they were talking shit. One of them had tits, too.
Yeah.
I'm like, bro, I could fit dinner plates under your tits.
How
And
much you weigh?
They wouldn't even fucking budge.
You're
170.
Yeah,
I did
was
like
gonna
30
say.
something.
Yeah, I was gonna say. Hope because you.
I got
know
a T-shirt
You,
for my son, basically.
yeah. Well, I know you. I train with you. I spar with you, and I would hope you could at least put up 30 plus. Yeah,
And that
for
was
sure.
I was sore from doing pull-ups. I do them every day.
Dude, this guy sparring, fuck, we went maybe 6 rounds one day at the gym, and then this guy's endurance is absolutely insane.
Really?
He was like, yeah, I'm gonna come at you with, what was it, the UFC guys? Homeboy,
Diaz.
The Diaz. You were
Pace,
like, I'm gonna come
Diaz
out. Yeah,
pace.
you were like, hey, I'm coming at you with Diaz pace, and I was thinking to myself, dude, we're on round 7. Get the fuck out of here, Diaz pace. This dude came out swinging for 2 solid minutes because we had 3-minute bells going. and I think we may have made it 2.5 minutes before I called it, because I felt like I had ducked like 1,000 punches at that point. But how old are you? 36?
36, yeah. I've always been impressive. Super competitive. And then I've been around some great people too. I remember, long story short, was it last week it was 110 degrees?
Mm-hmm.
So 110 degrees, there's smoke in the air, and it's 3:30 in the afternoon. I'm like, fuck, this is the perfect time to run.
Mm-hmm.
And it is, because it's the most fucking miserable. It's smoky, so the breathing isn't good. If I'm doing 5 miles in that heat, I'm going to fucking drop weight.
Mm-hmm.
It's just a miserable bitch. Well, my neighbor across the street's like, dude, I go running every morning. Why the fuck do you go at the hottest part of the day? He's like, I would never do that. And I'm like, well, do you train? He's like, well, yeah, I compete every once in a while and do. I'm like, well, then you're not competing. You're not winning. You got to I'm like, if you're actually, if you can do it in the worst conditions and be successful and put yourself through it and go through the emotions of being like, oh, I'm dehydrated, this sucks, I don't have any water, fuck, I've gone too far, it's too hot, and just not be a bitch. Just man up and push yourself through that. Then on competition day, most runs are in the morning.
Well,
it's never going to be that hot. And if it does get that hot in the middle of the day, you've already been there.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's an edge. And I learned that from a dude I trained with in the Coast Guard that was a really good swimmer, and added a lot of value. And I think if you do the hard things first, it makes everything else easy.
Correct.
And that's why, like, sometimes, like, in competitions where endurance is involved, like, I think I can fucking murder anyone. And it's just because I'll go until my body tells me I can't.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not because I'm special, and it's because I've trained myself that way, mentally and physically.
Mm-hmm.
And it's cool when guys see that.
It is.
Because it's a lot of work when you're 36 years old and raising kids to go out and be able to compete and stuff like
That's awesome.
that. Yeah, no, and I credit it to that type of lifestyle, nutrition, being around the gym. I think there's a lot of good things, and you learn shit like that from people about, like, hey, if you want to be better at something, do it under the worst possible conditions, especially when it comes to physical fitness.
Correct.
Then everything else from there is fucking easy.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of the same with, like, dieting, like, for me, I could definitely be eating a lot more food right now, but I suffer early, so I don't have to wait last minute to, like, try to pull it together or be off or take a chance of not being on point, like the mental fog I have right now, and not being able to have any energy and being very low carb and that kind of thing. The suffering, people don't want to do that shit, but that's what makes a winner. And so for me, I just get it over with, soon. It's just kind of like, to me, it gets to a point to where it's like you're dieting and you almost want to get push further, kind of like with your endurance thing. I'm sure you get to a point where you just hit a wall and you're like, well, fuck this, and you just keep going. It's like you can't even feel at that point. Same with dieting, like I'll get to a point now in depletion, like basically I just go zombie mode in the next 2 weeks. I don't give a shit how much food I pull. I'm gonna be fine.
Yeah. I tell guys, I've been sober almost 3 years. I talk to some guys at the gym and they'll be like, oh, that's great, because, like, oh, fuck, I'm 42 now, I'm hungover as fuck. And I'm always like, they're kind of depressed, their workouts suck, and I'll tell them, like, go get into boxing or something. It was good for me, but, like, there's something about when you do an intense workout that's very primal, and I think as men we need that. I think we need some kind of, because you can have the worst day of your life, and your old lady's banging the Pepperidge Farm man and on Tinder is fucking butt fuck Buffalo Bill, and you find out your car's getting I mean, there's all these problems in life. Hop into a cage with a guy like him and let him throw punches at you, all of that goes away.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Or throw yourself in a really intense circuit training with the coach, all that goes away. We release something in our body, those endorphins. It just exhausting yourself mentally, emotionally, physically, putting everything you have into something.
It's like calming.
And then it's over. And yeah, it really brings over a good sense of accomplishment. It starts with little things,
Right.
And man, I'm a big proponent. Like, I would challenge anyone. If you work out, that's fucking wonderful. Work out in the most miserable part of the day. Push yourself to some limit that you never thought you could make, and then see how you respond to that. You'll be surprised on how you respond. You'll probably respond. You'll miss it.
Well, and I'd like to probably put an additional challenge on that, and don't just go work out, go train, Go set a goal.
Go do something new.
Train for an end goal. Because people who work out just go to the gym and lift weights, or they go to the gym and run. Don't work out. Go train. Have a purpose with what you're doing. Otherwise, there's no reason to fucking be there. That's my opinion.
Correct. I think that's everything.
100%. Why the fuck would you waste your time going for 2 hours if you don't have goals that are set? And I'm a firm believer in setting goals just because that's the kind of person I am. So do I want to hit 8% body fat? All right, well, fuck. How lazy am I? Well, I'll hit it by next year, but at least I'll work out every single day and I'll try to hit it. That's how I am, you know.
Yeah.
And I used to be when I was in my 20s and in the military, I'd talk shit and I was cocky. In the competition, it was fun. But it feels really good now when you're like you're going into your late 30s and you're standing around a bunch of young 20-year-old Marines and they can't do as many pull-ups as you. It feels really good. And so it's stuff like that. I think people, man, I would challenge. And long story short, that dude's gonna go with the jog with me, so he's gonna get to experience what I was taught, because it took a good mentor saying, "Hey, bro, come with me. We can get more out. You can get more out of yourself, way more." And then you sometimes all you need is a little bit of push, and that's where online coaching and stuff comes in. I think that's a cool thing. It's a noble trait.
Well, and I don't think a lot of people really have time to go to an actual gym for like 2 or 3 hours and sit with somebody and be coached through something. I think there is a very niche market of individuals out there who can afford to pay for a structured plan that is tailored to them and that works with their schedule, and they're able to like actually fit that into their schedule. What's
cool too is once you learn how to work out and learn like different circuit training and stuff, like he's saying, last night I didn't have time. I didn't have time to get to the gym. I had my daughters, the daycare was closed. I had gotten in a lift earlier in the day but really done no cardio. Wonderful. I throw up YouTube 20-minute workout, or I take a 10-minute workout. I watch a guy, he shows me burpees, 10 rounds at this. I double it at 45 seconds and then 15-second breaks. So I end up doing a 20-minute workout where I've done burpees, push-ups, some flutter kicks, some sit-ups. But like in 20 minutes, I was fucking smoked, and I can work out. So time, place, it's all discipline. How much effort are you willing to put in to really change your lifestyle? Because we've all got excuses, but man, like yesterday, I don't know how many days I wake up and I don't want to fucking work out. If I worked out as much as my body tells me I want to work out, I would be a fat, lazy fuck. You just have to overcome that and go every day. And when you do, you feel better. You really do. But I think that misconception, like, it's not easy for fucking anyone to diet and exercise. Are you kidding me? With all these lazy creature comforts we have in this country, and I can get a fucking strawberry-flavored Starbucks and a dick suck down by the guy at the Dutch Bros, you know what I mean? We live in this soft cookie-cutter society. It's real easy to morph into that. You got to check yourself every once in a while, especially as a man. I think you got to...
Yeah, well, yeah. I mean, obviously, in my generation itself, that instant gratification thing is kind of like, dude, that's just going to be handed to you.
Yeah.
Like, I think that's what's great about competing. For example, in my world, the bodybuilding thing, like, the only way that you're going to look the best on stage is if you put the work in. Like, it's literally you versus you. And if you don't do the card, you don't look the best.
We really need to
that's 100%
put
on yourself.
Competition back into our society, because it's part of life. It's part of capitalism. It's part of everything.
The thing is, you take that same thing and you apply it to every other aspect of your life. It's like the point that you assume 100% responsibility for your actions is the point that you can control your life. And people that are my age just don't, for some reason, get that.
Yeah.
And it's crazy because, I mean, there's very little that separates the older millennials from the younger millennials. And there is a huge difference. And on some other podcasts that, I've been on, I've gone into some detail on demographic and psychographic analysis of, like, the millennials, just because of the type of business I'm in and whatnot. and I noticed that there are a lot, as far as the functionality of the younger versus the younger millennials when it comes to purchasing behaviors, which I believe also translate into multiple other behaviors, just because I analyze different sectors such as technology. How do they utilize their technology, and how do we use that to to make sales, right? And all that kind of stuff. But there's a huge disconnect between the two spectrums on that millennial graph, and they've actually blended the older millennials and the younger Gen X generation into a subgroup, because there's such a disconnect between their opposite, the older and the younger sides of both of those generations. Does that make sense?
It does.
Yeah. So as far as I don't know, social media for us, dude, I don't know how to use social media. I'm still trying to figure this out. You've got like 20,000+ followers, and I'm over here trying to get like 200 people to follow me. I even have friends who own companies that technically they tag algorithms, and they force that feed out, and then they tag your photos with the subscription.
Yeah, you guys, I hate to say this,
crazy shit going on,
1995, you guys have had it easy in the dating world. Fucking easy, man. Back in my day, I was fucking making mixtapes, writing love notes, fucking practicing my fucking MC Hammer moves. Now you guys just send a DM, slide it in.
Dude.
Not even, dude. You Snapchat a dick pic, nobody knows. And if she screenshots it, just make sure your face is in it.
If you walk up to a girl and be like, "What's up? Can I take you out for dinner?" They probably like, "I'm gonna call the cops."
Let me get
slide me a
IG
DM
handle.
my Instagram.
Yeah. Let me get you. I was just gonna say that Instagram. Hey, add me on Instagram so you know I'm not fake.
It's becoming big. It's become very big. Now, like the IGTV thing, I think they're trying to take over YouTube in a small form, because it's like 10-minute videos now, and it's instant and it's full screen.
So I have a brother, and you're
Hey guys, I've got to get going.
Oh no,
So I'm gonna sign off.
You're fine, man. We will continue this.
So Casey,
yeah,
it was a great episode. It was awesome meeting you. Are you gonna be in town tomorrow?
I will not. I'm flying out tomorrow at 6 a.m.
Oh Jesus. Okay. Well, have fun tonight, boys.
But thank you so much for having me today. I really appreciate it.
If we can get down there, I'd like to go lift with you. And we've been talking about making a road trip for the Sups. We've got a contact down doing some high school football in Texas, which is a market we really want to get into anyway. So we're looking at a road trip. So maybe we can hop on that Casey train.
Hey,
that'd be cool.
Hell yeah!
Not the dick train, folks. dirty bastards. So where can they find you?
They can find me Casey Barnett on Instagram, CASEY Barnett, BARNETTE, or you can go to my website, CaseyTrain.com.
All Casey's followers, you can find me at Conrad Jeffries, and then at Pro Edge Podcast, at Pro Edge Nutrition, at TJ Meyer. How do I do yours?
T James Meyer.
T James Meyer.
Dot Meyer.
Also
at Gmail. All of those.
At Gmail. And also, if you need the dating advice, you got me and Tim.
Don't lose out on that $200 deal.
Yeah, email the podcast. Also, get a free dating profile, ladies or gentlemen. Yeah.
Awesome.
Send that questionnaire at first, too.
All right, so I'm going to get my kids home. Cool. It was awesome. I enjoyed it. All right, you guys have a fun night.
Right,
well, definitely. Hey, thanks for tuning in, everybody. We will catch you later.